day, everyone. It's Adelaide Winterstep, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're gonna go look out for some horses. It is horse shopping season, and I'm gonna need some new horses, considering the fact that poor Violet is not gonna be able to compete anymore. So I'm on the lookout for a couple of project horses. One maybe that I can train, and the other one that I can compete for long term. And so let's go ahead and do that. I hope you all enjoy this video, and let's get into it. So it's very early morning. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my helmet and my gloves, and we're actually gonna head out to the first barn, and it's about 6 in the morning, so the sun is just barely up. So let me go ahead and explain as I drive there a little bit of what we do during the fall season. So the Baroness is a sponsor of the stables, and she's actually sponsoring us for horses and different products that we need. Every fall she gives us a budget, and we can go out and purchase horses for our students, horses that can be used in clinics, oh my god, sorry, and horses that in general could be used for my personal use and for competing. So typically I set aside a little bit of money so I can get a horse that I can compete with to represent Silverglade Equestrian, but I also set aside most of the money for lesson horses. That's why I go out shopping, and I go ahead and look for a bunch of different horses that would fit the needs of my students, as well as the horses that would fit the needs that we need for this competition year. So that's why it's super crucial, and that's why we're going out shopping all in one day. Typically, I'll bring back the horses about a week later after vet checks and thorough checkups have been done, and we've made sure that we've approved the horses. Today, this year at least, I'm on the lookout for a lot of lesson horses that need training so that my students can learn how to train horses. And also on the lookout for a really great competition horse for show jumping specifically so I can get more into it. The first stable that we're visiting to try out a horse is actually Jorvik Stables, which is a represented stud, meaning that it's a perfection stud in Jorvik. It's been approved, and they have some of the best horses and some of the best breeding in the countryside. This is Cloud9, and he's an Orlev Trotter track inner mix. Absolutely gorgeous, this guy. I am honestly very impressed with the breeding of this horse. It's an interesting mix. I've never seen this before, but you can notice how his conformation is very competition-like. He's got a lovely neck, some beautiful shoulders, and overall he's built for the eventing ring. I didn't get as many clips of his riding as I would have liked to. It was so early and we forgot to film some of it, but he was just so lovely. His trot and canter were absolutely gorgeous. He's very floaty, and he definitely would be a good general horse for me and my students to work with. Overall, he was a pretty practical choice, and it was kind of hard to decide if I wanted a perfect horse or if I wanted a horse that I could train more, but overall he was absolutely gorgeous and definitely a horse to consider when I made my list of the horses I was going to buy. Next is Golden Leaf Stables. Here they have some awesome cross-country horses, and this is where I found one of my absolute favorites. So this is Sunkissed. Sunkissed is a gorgeous Irish sport horse mare. She's Palomino, and I can't get over this horse. She's so gentle, so sweet, and not stubborn. She goes on the bit just lovely, and she's got some gorgeous gaits. I definitely would have been interested in this horse for a dressage clinic specialist. I have horses that I set aside specially for clinics. They're great example horses, and they overall can really demonstrate certain techniques very nicely. She was made absolutely beautifully, and she was just so easy to work with. I've also heard they told me that she did Liberty, and so if I were to get her, I would want to try her out with her Liberty and see how she is with that. She was just so perfect, and you just see her standing, and you're like, oh my gosh, what a dream. Her canter and trot were just lovely. And I was thinking, for her future, she might not be the best option for a top competitor horse, but she would be excellent as a lesson horse for my more advanced students. And I think she would just be great trailering out and being with them and being a really sweet horse for students to gain their confidence on. So I definitely saw her as a huge, playing a huge role in our lesson program. You can just see all her different gaits. They're very unique, very special, and I asked them if I could canter her over a jump, and they let me, and it was just so fun. I just had such a blast with this mare, and she's just so easygoing and friendly. Next, we had Captive. Oh my gosh. This is an Australian stock horse. He was a lovely little gelding that was at the rescue farm. I wanted to get a rescue horse for a while now, and so I found 2 rescue horses on the rescue farm's website and went to go check them out. So this is kept captive. They call him Captain. And he's an Australian stock horse, so he's very hardy. I've seen Australian stock horses compete in eventing before, and they're just excellent with their stamina, and they're very hardy on the ground, and they can handle some serious terrain. I definitely agreed with that. You can see how he trots, how he canters. By the way, guys, I'm sick, so if you hear this voice, don't be surprised. But yeah, just lovely walk, trot, and canter, absolutely fantastic. And I really enjoyed riding him. He was very easygoing, but he was a little bit heavy on the bit, and so that's one issue that I think could be fixed pretty easily. But in general, a lovely, lovely horse that I loved working with. Okay, so if I have a horse that I'm really excited about, it's StarGazer. StarGazer is a track hitter paint mix here at the rescue, and StarGazer is of a younger age, 4 to 5 years old. This horse is saddle trained, I suppose you could say, saddle broke, but he's just so incredibly green, and I get so excited about horses like this that show potential even when they're so green. And he just did that for me. His walk, trot, and canter were excellent. He was just so easy to handle, and he was such a comical character. If a horse could be sarcastic, that's what StarGazer would be. He is, not to mention, very, very gorgeous. And they said that he's kind of the class clown of the stable. He actually recently came to the rescue just about a week ago, and he was abandoned. So I don't know what he's had in the past, what he's been like, and that's something to look out for with these rescue horses. If their past could really affect how they're being ridden in the future. I tried him out in a more collected canter. It turns out he'd never done that before. He was used to this more forward canter that you see now, and overall he's just such a gorgeous mover. I got really excited to see if maybe I could use him in the future for some projects. Okay, this is Onyx Pearls, aka, yeah. Onyx is gorgeous. I found him at Moreland's stable. He is by far one of the more beautiful horses that I've ridden before. He is an interesting mix, yet again. He is a Hanoverian paint, I believe. But he's got some really, really sturdy movements. The thing with this horse, though, is that he is at the peak of his career, they've said. They haven't seen any much more potential than he already has, and that's great to hear that he's at the peak of his career, but at the same time, I was either looking for a training horse that I could train or a horse that was about to reach their peak that I could bring them to their best. So he was great for general, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to use him in the long term for our entire program exactly. So he wasn't the most ideal horse, but he definitely was still nevertheless fantastic and a joy to ride. You can see his canter, how fantastically easygoing his canter is. Yeah, overall, just a great general horse. And I don't think I was going to purchase him. I just thought, for the future, I think some other girl's really going to enjoy riding this horse out and hacking with this horse in the future, though, not for me personally. Okay, so this next horse was a surprise. When I was younger, about 18 or 19, I used to watch this horse in the show ring. And it was always this gray stallion, the most majestic creature I'd ever seen. He was just so excellent. Turns out my friend had set up a surprise proposal with this horse. This horse I got the chance to ride. This is Diorama Diorolo. Crazy, crazy name. Something Italian, I think. But he's just so amazing. This is a warm blood Irish sport horse mix. He is so beautifully built. He's still a stallion, and I got the honor of riding him. I did a little bit of flat work with him, but I found that he actually is suited for show jumping, which I knew before. So, of course, I just skipped the majority of the flat work, just did a light warm up with him. This horse, the movements of this horse is insane. I can't wrap my head around it, and I'm still shook after this ride. This was amazing. But we went actually into the show jumping arena after we did this basic ride. Oh my god. This horse can jump. He's literally like he has springs in his feet. Do you see how he's jumping these jumps? With ease, he's able to clear these larger sets, and I was just... I love this horse. But again, it might be impractical for me to get a horse that's so good because, again, my goal is to train horses and it's not to get all these amazing horses. But do you see this horse jumping? Okay, everyone, go ahead and comment down below which horse you think I should purchase next, or a couple of horses if you liked all of them. I hope you all enjoyed this video with my kind of sick voice, but I hope you enjoyed this style. If you want to know a little bit more about realistic roleplay, check out the rest of my videos where my voice is a little bit better. But make sure to check out my other videos and enjoy the content that I put out there. Realistic roleplay is for everyone and anyone. Don't forget to check out all the platforms down below that I have. I have websites and Instagrams and such that you can check out with the links down below. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It's kind of fun, and I'm going to follow up with it next week. See you all next time. Bye.